Hey everyone. You know, I thought I'd come out here and excuse me. I wanted to talk about. You see the title below or above, depending on how you watch this. Um, I want to say I wanted to talk about this live because this is something. This is news that hit, I think, within the past 24 hours, 24, 48 hours, past weekend or something like that. But apparently, IDW Publishing, IDW Comics, is going to be giving us a little bit more information, a little bit more information on on their release, their 2018 release. Excuse me, on their 2018 release of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic, on their take on the Sonic the Hedgehog comic. Um, not really, not there's not really much known. TSSC News has already said that they don't know as much. All they know is we're going to find out more down the line. We're going to find out, excuse me, we're going to find out we're going to find out just when they do, when everybody else does on October 8th. October 8th, which I believe, let me check my calendar here. October 8th is a Sunday. Yeah. So on Sunday, October 8th is when we're going to find out more information on the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book, uh, as far as IDW is concerned. Like who's going to be included, what's it going to be like, is it going to be continuation of the Archie run? Are we going to get characters coming back like nothing really happened? I mean, basically, we're going to get some answers. Not all our questions, but we're going to get some questions to some answers that we. I mean, what I'm saying is, we're going to get answers to some questions that we've been wondering about ever since the announcement around San Diego Comic-Con that IDW was taking over as the new comic book publisher of Sonic the Hedgehog. Again, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. A lot of people, including myself, are hopeful that it's a continuation of the Archie run, that at least by a numeral issue wise, the comic continues on from where it left off, or if it's some kind of soft retcon or reboot in IDW's image, well, basically, if it's some kind of reboot of some kind, or retcon of some kind, then at least we still have the SatAM Archie characters to enjoy along with Sonic, as well. But again, we don't know very much going on. Hopefully, what we do find out down the line, hopefully, what we do find out is a release date for the first issue, or a release date for the first issue, or the continuing issue, because one thing a lot of fans, like I said, myself, are hoping for, and I just mentioned this, is it continues on from where Archie left off. So if it continues on from like 291, hopefully the issue they start out with is 292, but it's under the IDW licensing. Hopefully that's what happens. Again, we don't know very much about what's going to occur, but my safe bet, my safe bet on this is, and I know Chris Rael, if you're watching, you've heard me and a lot of people say this. Our safe bet, and we're hoping you guys do this, is we at least get the characters back. The editor, I think the editor's name's John something. I can't think of the last name. I can't think of the last name, but hopefully you guys bring these characters to the forefront, in some capacity, because yeah, you got Sonic Mania out. You got by the time your rendition or your publication of Sonic comics comes around, Sonic Forces will already be out. Um, but there's so much you can. just so much you can do, and hopefully you'll be able to address that. Hopefully this just won't be a core game characters comic only. Hopefully you'll be able to expand on that. I mean, we've seen from what people like Zaran Nizarak has said on his channel, Multimedia Chronicles, and we've heard what Linkara has said. Um, we've heard what these kind of people and other comic book people, related people like Awesome Comics on Channel Awesome, Comic Book Cast, you name it. IGN. We've heard a lot of people basically say that one of the things that they like about you is you always find a way to expand an already established universe within all the licensed comics that you have. Another thing they say they like about you is the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, you continue on where another publication left off. So it's like nothing really happened, nothing really changed except the publisher. So hopefully that's what we get. But again, like I've mentioned before, and you've heard me say this, um, even if we get the characters sort of like in a guest appearance, maybe they're appearing for a 2 or 3 part arc or 4 part arc, and that's it, and we don't see them for a while after that, that's that's better than nothing for us. At least we know that you're acknowledging that these characters of Bunny Rabbit, Roto Roars, Sally Acorn, Antoine de Coulin, Dulcie Dragon, Loop Wolf, that at least they're part of the IDW incarnation of Sonic in the IDW Sonic universe, and they're not just being shelved indefinitely or permanently or put in the vault and locked away with the key thrown away and stuff like that. Another thing that we're pretty much hopeful that you'll look at is the fact that this comic ran for longer than any other video game based comic or medium has ever ran outside of its natural source or its original source. And that you'll look at the fact that it was given the Guinness Book, given the it was placed, it earned its place in the Guinness Book World of Records, in the Guinness's Book of World Records, for being the longest running comic based on a video game, longest running comic book adaptation based on a video game media of any kind. So hopefully you look into that and you want to continue that run. Hopefully you'll make that. Hopefully that'll be an announcement that hopefully you'll look into that, and that will kind of sway you into what you'll be announcing or what kind of information you're going to give us on October 8th. I will say this though. I will say this to Chris Rael, the editor of the new editor of the Sonic comics, John, whatever his name is. I can't think. Can't think of the last name. I do apologize. Hopefully, you guys will be prepared for any kind of backlash you may get, because if your announcement basically is, "Oh, we're going to just restart from scratch and this is how it's going to go," and you basically say, "Oh, we're not going to include said characters," hopefully you guys have something prepared that's going to satisfy the fans, or at least not have them angry at you to a point to where they don't want to have nothing to do with the comic. Hopefully you have something in mind. Hopefully you have something in store just in case. But I believe, just like a lot of fans, that you guys at IDW are going to live up to your reputations of giving the fans what they want, listening to the fans. And hopefully at New York Comic Con, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to give the fans somewhat what they want, hopefully, if not mostly what they want, and at least do it in a way that gives us an idea of exactly what direction you're going in with the comic. But again, I'm just hoping, I'm just speculating, folks, on what will be announced on October 8th. For all we know, like I said, it could be a complete retooling. They could be starting from scratch. Stuff like, they could start from scratch, and maybe they will include the characters, but it's going to be like a retelling of their origins altogether as one. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see where he goes, where IDW, the editor John, whatever his name is, goes, along with Chris Rael. what direction they go in for the comic. And I do apologize to the new editor of Sonic Comics at IDW for not remembering your last name. I do apologize for that. Um, but hopefully, like I said, you'll be able to, you know, hopefully you guys will be able to, give us something that will, like I said, will be satisfactory in the end. Because, like I said, folks, these Chris and John, I think that's his name, the new editor at the Sonic Comics at IDW, they could go in a completely different direction. They could still include the characters, but like I said, they could end up making it an all new origin story of how they met, how they came together, what have you. They could do that too, and um, it would be accepting. There's no doubt about it. But again, we don't really know exactly what they're going to do. We don't know exactly what they got planned. All we know is that news broke over the past few days that by TSSZ and and on Twitter and Facebook and all that, and IDW broke it on their Twitter page. Period. That at New York Comic Con on Sunday, October 8th, they will be making some kind of announcement, basically giving out some kind of information as to what will be in store for as far as the comic is concerned. Again, we don't know exactly what direction they're going to go in with this. We don't know if they're going to include the characters right off the bat. If it's going to be an all new origin story and it's going to introduce them that way. We don't know if they're going to be guest appearing in the comic for certain arcs, and appearing then after that every now and then. We don't know. Um, Again, not much is being said. I know Rael and the new editor at the Sonic Comics are being tight-lipped about this. I know Sega's being tight-lipped about this, but hopefully IDW lives up to the reputation, because a lot of people have said that IDW, the one thing they have done with a lot of comics that they have acquired the licensing of for publication, some of them they have continued the numbering. So hopefully they continue the numbering. So hopefully maybe one of the announcements they do is they continue the numbering of the Sonic comics where it left off. I know right where they left off, because if you think about it, for the more established readers like myself, Elf and everything, that'll be easier for us to have a jumping on point when it comes to the comic. At least we won't be lost. At least it won't be too confusing. It's like, okay, at least you're continuing where it left off, and then maybe that's where you're kind of, after you're done with the Genesis of a Hero arc, maybe you'll go from there. Maybe you'll continue on with the story arcs that we were supposed to get, but we didn't. Through the main Sonic comic at Archie and the Sonic Universe comic, maybe you'll continue on with those. Again, we don't know. I was just checking something. Again, we don't know. Again, folks, I don't know what the announcement's going to be. TSSZ doesn't know. Like I said, IDW, Chris Rael, the new editor over at Sonic Comics, are all keeping their mouths shut right now. They're all tight-lipped right now, because they don't want anybody spilling the beans. We don't know exactly what we're going to get. We may, like I say, get an announcement. It's going to be a complete retooling. Maybe they will include the characters, but it'll be a retooling of the origins, how they met and all that, grew up. Who knows? Maybe it's an announcement, like I said, that they'll continue on where the Archie left off, and maybe they'll continue on with, not just one but two Sonic books. Maybe we'll get a Sonic Universe book continuing where the Archie one left off. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe we'll get the announcement of the fact that because IDW now has Sonic under the umbrella, under the house, under the roof, if you will, that maybe we'll end up getting crossovers with Transformers and ROM and Inhuman, and not Inhumanoids, but uh, G.I. Joe, and maybe My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, as crazy as that sounds. Jim and the Holograms, if they do that. Whatever the comic titles they have, like I said, they got ROM, which is probably a logical one right there. They got Transformers, which is possible. They got G.I. Joe. They got Visionaries coming out, I think, or if not out already. They got Mask they could do. They got all these possible crossovers. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, like I said, Gem. They got all these possibilities, but again, we don't know what's going to be announced. These are just things off the top of my mind that they could end up announcing on Sunday, October 8th at New York Comic Con. Again, hopefully what they do is they give us some kind of announcement that's satisfactory. If they announce it's going to be a complete retooling, but they're going to include the characters from the Archie comics and Satyam run, fine, that'd be great. Maybe we'll get a decent origin story out of it that's not so convoluted or confusing for many older, established readers and newer readers. Maybe we'll get an announcement that they're going to do their own version, their own take on the Sonic Universe comic book. So maybe we'll get more than one. You know, maybe they're going to announce that yes, Sonic's going to cross over with all these other comic book titles or comic book license titles that they've acquired. We don't know really. We don't really know just yet. So all we really have to do, folks, is I think just sit back and wait. But again, my speculation is we're going to get some kind of announcement. My speculation, and I think this is probably dead on, is we'll get some kind of announcement to where, yes, the characters that we know, the freedom fighters, will be included, but will be included in the book. But I think that's as far as I could say. That's as far as I could probably speculate, is that they will be included. We just don't know how. We don't know if they'll be included right from the start. We don't know if they'll be included as guest appearances for our story arcs. We don't know. We don't know if the comics can continue where it left off from Archie, but this time under IDW's publishing name. We don't know. So all we have to do is just wait. But I'm honestly I'm very excited about this news, and I'm very hopeful about it. And honestly, being a longtime fan for as long as I have been, which has been about 25 to 24 years, not just of the franchise overall, but of the comic, I'm very hopeful about what we get of the news. I'm very hopeful, and we'll just have to leave it there. See what happens. And again, like I said, we don't really know anything. We won't really know anything until then, because, like I said, Chris Rael, um, the new editor on the IDW Sonic book, and overall IDW's creative staff and whatnot, are all being tight-lipped, including Sega, who I believe the Western Sega is keeping very tight-lipped about this. So we'll find out what happens. So we'll just have to wait and find out what happens. What I'm saying on October 8th. If we find out any more, I'm sure TSSZ and even myself and other fans will come out and talk about it. But I'm just coming on here and speculating and relating hopefully what hopefully will be announced, or at least acknowledge what kind of information we'll get, and just have to wait and see where we go from there. But that's all I'm going to say, folks. I want to thank you all for watching live and post live. If you don't watch it currently, if you're not watching it live, I want to thank you all that watched it post live, already uploaded and stuff. And I want to thank you all for watching it live as well. Again, I don't know what's happening. I'm just speculating on what hopefully the news will be, what information will be given on October 8th in New York Comic Con. And really, that's all I have to say, folks. So again, thank you all for watching and tuning in live. Thank you to anybody that watched post live, and that's all I really have to say. So until next time, folks, God bless, take care, I am out. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens on 10/8/2017. Peace.